Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my second official crafting stream. As you can see, we have a beautiful new starting screen, thanks to Moni the Beautiful. I have a few things new in the channel that are thanks to her. So our subscriber images are now available, or sorry, subscriber badges are now available. So anyone who is subscribed now has a cute little ball of yarn, I think. Wow, I forgot what my own subscriber badges look like. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a ball of yarn. My mind blanked there for a second. And we have a brand new, beautiful short break screen. So this is what the break screen looks like. It is going to be the thing that entices me into actually taking my breaks. Thank goodness. So I really love it. Let's see. And of course we have the live screen. Thank you. I'm going to go back to the break screen. Isn't this pretty? Hi, Glass Sand. Plain. Welcome. So this this screen right here, it has a Minecraft scene in the back because I'm a Minecraft player. But it's also diamond painting. So we've been working really hard on this and it's finally ready. So I'm hoping we can take this image and tweak it a little bit to also be my offline screen. I've asked Moni and we will see, but I'm hoping that we can basically put like a frame around the picture and put offline, and because we want people to be able to see this beautiful image that she worked so hard on. So I think to that end I will do an exclamation point Moni. Uh-oh. Looks like I need to fix my bot. Apparently she does still need to be a mod. Let's try this again. I love Moni. Let's see. Roles. Try this again. Okay. Exclamation point Moni. So the command now gives a link to her site so that if anyone else wants to check out her services or whatnot for graphics, they can. Obviously we're not actually taking a break at the beginning, but today we're going to be doing some knitting. So I've got my poor cat who's been having a really long headache and my temperature blanket that I've been working on since January. I am very far behind. And if you want to see information on how to do this project, this temperature blanket, you can do exclamation point project, and that will give you the link to the Etsy place where I got it. It is a mitered square blanket. So here, let's see, let me pull out my knitting needles. These are Knit Picks knitting needles. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I love them. So I'm gonna set these aside so you can just get an idea of what this blanket looks like. It's pretty big. So by the time I get to the end of the year, it's gonna be massive. It takes me about an hour per square at least, sometimes two, because unfortunately this pattern is not very forgiving. But I'm too stubborn to switch patterns, so yeah. So today I am working on March 9th. Yeah, me and stubbornness go ways. My other half, if I call anything stubborn, people would say pot kettle black. So here is the colors that I'm working on right now. Or here's the next day's colors. We have Marina, and I need to turn this down a tiny bit. That might be a little better. Marina and Dublin. So basically for this blanket, I am working with, the goal is to make it forest colors. So here is the color palette. So we've got ranges of blues, greens, some browns and blacks, and I've got a few colors like red and purple, because, you know, birds happen in forests. Thank you. So if I were caught up, I'm quite confident I would be working in these colors because we have been in a heat wave, and wow, it is hot. It's super hot. Also from my test, from my test crafting stream I did last week, I realized that it'd be good to have another skein of wool, or not wool, skein of yarn on hand in case anyone has questions on knitting. So I'm not the best knitter around, but I've been doing it for a while now, and I usually say that I knit square things. That I think I'm good enough to share my experience. Anywho, without further ado, I think it's time to get started. Unless you have any questions? Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, that is the other thing that I released recently. Monty did the panels. And let's see if I can bring it up in Mozilla. Or is it going to show? Let me see my about section. Yeah, so she did all of these words for me. And I'm really happy with them. We tried to go for, you know, a celebration of color and also, you know, the knitted feel. So You know, that's why we have the knitting, sorry, not knitting, the stitched border. So, thank you very much. I will let Moni know, but I am super happy with everything. I think the only thing that's really left to do as far as the initial graphics are concerned is my my closing page, and we're gonna redo my my logo and my oh, it's nested, awesome. We're gonna redo my logo and my banner, but that's all that's really left. All of the emotes or initial emotes are done. So those are available to followers. So yeah. Anywho, so I am gonna be modifying my gallery soon. I'm still kind of a newbie in terms of stream elements and whatnot in OBS. So I'm actually going to go and take this border and actually edit it directly into these images to make it look cleaner. All right. See, now I got to remember what I was doing. So the marina is the high temperature, so that's the one I've got to start with. We'll set this aside. Let's see. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out my workflow in terms of the stream. So I imagine as I go, this will get more smooth and whatnot. But we gotta, this blanket is kind of heavy, so gotta situate it so that I can knit. So basically we're going to cast on 40 stitches from here to here. Basically, this, in my opinion, is the hardest part of this particular pattern, because it is way too easy to cast on the wrong number of stitches, or at least that's been my experience. So let me go ahead and do that. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 18, 19, 20. So there's 20 stripes. And down here, I'm gonna leave a longer tail this time, because last time I'm pretty sure I made it way too short. You can always cut off the tails later. I think when I picked this pattern, I didn't realize that I would be knitting onto it, so I had this idea of just having a pile of squares that I would be working in. So I didn't realize that it would be as cumbersome as project as it actually ended up being. All right, so then we're just gonna go into each stitch. I am a English knitter, by the way. I am not a continental knitter. I do need to readjust something real quick. There. That way I can see chat while I'm knitting. So with this pattern, I think it is really, really important to keep your eye on details, because the slightest mistake in counting, basically, or at least it's been my experience, that makes me end up having to redo the whole square. Which is not fun. That's part of why I'm so as far behind as I am, because it took me at least a week or so to actually get comfortable with the pattern. I would pass on backwards, or or mess up what at different points, or pass on the wrong number of stitches, and basically I've realized as I've gone that the more attention I pay when I'm doing the cast on, the less likely it is I'm gonna have a mistake. And you know, thankfully this blanket is going to be for me. I'm going to keep it, and hopefully by the time I try this pattern again, I'll have learned a lot and I'll be much better the second time around. Or that's the goal. Okay, so in theory, in theory, I should probably have 19 or 20 stitches cast on now, if I did it correctly, which is not a guarantee. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Okay, so we have one more right here. Come on. If anyone has questions, feel free to ask. Even, you know, questions unrelated to knitting. As long as it's, you know, a question you wouldn't mind asking your mother, because, you know, we don't want to be weird. Or at least we don't want to be that kind of weird. So anywho, I'm putting on my stitch marker, so I know where to do the decreases. As you may or may not be able to tell, basically this pattern, it starts with, let me put this in an easier way. It starts with 40 stitches right here, and we do two decreases till we get down to a single stitch. So, for paranoia's sake, I'm going to count it again. 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Yay! Okay, so we have the first 20. So now it's time to get the second 20 on here. This is a little bit loose, but thankfully in this I can tighten things up. This, I think, is usually where I mess up. It's kind of hard sometimes to identify where to pass on. But I think that comes with practice. And fortunately, I'm going to be doing 366 of these things, so who knows, maybe by the end of the year I will be taking a lot less time to do these. One can hope. I really do think that once we get everything cast on, the hard part is done. Then it's just a matter of making sure I pay attention to the stitch marker. I also have a channel point redemption for working on the spirograph for about 2 minutes. So just so you know, that's out there. There's also one for doing 2 games called Contexto and I forgot what the other one was. Connexo. There's a fun word puzzle games. There's a different one every day. All right, so here again, we should be, since we're near the end, probably 19 if I did it right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 15, 16, 18, 20. I'm a little concerned that it didn't end here. So I might have to redo that. Yeah, I think this stitch was an extra one. So maybe, I wonder if I can just drop that stitch when we come back. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Rather than unstitching all of this, I think I'm gonna drop it when we go back. Alrighty, so let me just count again, for paranoia's sake, because I do not want to get this wrong. So we're going to drop this stitch intentionally. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Perfect. All right, we are finally ready to go. So, I am an English knitter, so I hold the yarn on the right hand side. Continental knitting just feels weird for me. I probably could figure it out if I wanted to. And maybe eventually one day I will. But, it's just, I prefer English. Let's see if I can make sure I get myself positioned correctly under the camera. So, how's your day going, Glass Sand Plane? Sorry. I just finished a full work day, so my brain is still kind of mushy. Cool. I'm honestly really glad that my kitty has stopped pestering. Both of them, actually. All right, so we're going to drop this stitch right here. I'm gonna let it go. Let it go, let it go. All right, I could not resist. Someone had to do it, might as well be me. Is my sound okay? Awesome, thank you. So eventually, I'm going to have a subscriber blanket. I'm still working out the details, but the plan is it'll be like a temperature blanket, but the color that, so basically when someone subscribes, or I might also do a certain number of bits, they will get a 2-inch square added to the blanket, and the color that is added will be based on their username. So I've come up with kind of a formula with letters and the parts of everyone's username that helps determine a number, and that number will work like, say, the temperature in the temperature blanket and help determine what color to knit with. It is going to be a Tunisian crochet blanket, so I haven't done that before, so I'm going to be learning. Okay, time to get the other color, because this is the low temperature color. Might as well pull that off. Come on. I do not want a knot. Thank you. It's like when you get down to the dregs of it, sometimes these are difficult. All right. Set that aside there. And this is where I can actually start weaving in the ends. So we'll take this end and we'll basically loop it onto the knitting needle. This is generally how we switch colors when knitting. And we'll do 1 stitch to get it started. And then we'll, go ahead and pull everything tight a little bit. So this is where it gets kind of awkward, at least initially, for the first, say 5 or 6 stitches, because knitting in the ends is awkward business, in my opinion. So we're going to basically grab all of these ends that will be unsightly, and they are going to be woven into the fabric. I could actually get them. Got this one. So all of these right here. So the reason it's awkward is because basically at this point we are controlling the working yarn and on one end, and we are working the tails on the other. So basically we stick the needle into the stitch, we take all of our working or end pieces and we bring it over. Then we do our knit, and then we move it back. and then we pull it through. It is super awkward. And then the next stitch we stitch like normal. And then we do it again. We stick the needle in, bring it forward, all of it. Wrap the yarn around, bring it back, and then bring the needle forward. It took lots and lots of tries for me to get this down, but eventually it did make sense. Needle in, basically every other stitch we are doing, or however long we think we need to make it feel secure. Let's see, and you can tell on the back when you need to do the regular stitch or when you need to do the weaving. So because it's right there, I need to do regular stitch again. So once again, needle in, bring it forward, wrap it, bring it back. And basically you can see how it's on the back. Let me zoom in a tiny bit. Not tiny bit. Let me zoom in a lot. You can see how it's, or maybe see how it's going into the back like this. It looks kind of messy on the back, but you don't see any of it on the front. And that is the goal. You want to have neat stitches on the front. So everything, when you're weaving it in, everything gets hidden behind. Let's see. And that's theoretically enough to go ahead and continue, but I'll do one more. So looks like we need a regular knit stitch. Actually, no, I think I'll just go ahead and continue knitting like normal now. And so that is the last time I have to worry about doing anything like that for this square. There's a lot of color changes in this pattern, or sorry, in this pattern. So it's really important to know how to hide the ends. So now I'm coming up to my my stitch marker, so it is now time to do the decrease. So we're doing a knit 2 together. Did I mess something up? I don't think I did. Yes, glass hand. ¿Qué pasa? And I'm doing slip knit on this side. Oh, okay. Sorry. So now we have the 2 decreases on this row, and one of the visual cues I use for myself is that if I'm knitting a new color onto a different color, it means it's time to decrease. If the color is the same, then I don't decrease. I love my knitting heart. You know, there is a channel point redemption you should look at, Glass Ann. it's the first. And I'm pretty sure you were the first one here, so I'd hate for you to miss it. There's also a second. It's just a single point channel redemption. If do you see where the channel points are? It's a part of the chat command. Nice. I imagine as I get more recognized when I go live, it'll be harder to get to that. Do not nod up right now. Come on. The last thing we want is a knot while we're trying to knit. All right, so yay, we get to turn to work and continue. So, do you knit, Glassdown? You should try it. Yeah, it really is. I generally try to stick to patterns that I can do mindlessly, because then I can do it, well, with less stress. When you start, I honestly would recommend just get some needles and get some yarn and just learn the stitches. Don't necessarily focus on you know, a particular pattern. Just so what I'm doing right now is called the garter stitch, and you can make basically a really simple scarf with just the garter stitch. It's just knit stitch all the way, and what that would do is that would help you get accustomed to, you know, how to hold your needles, and just how to learn the muscle memory of doing stitches. And then after you've grown comfortable with the knit stitch, then you can throw in the purl stitch, and then basically you can switch up to you know, doing a purl stitch. Maybe say make a scarf that's all knit stitch, and then switch to purl stitch when you're halfway through, and that would make a really cute scarf. But it would also be teaching you the basics and fundamentals of knitting, without any particular pressure of, you know, a pattern. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It's just when you get comfortable with the stitches, then you can that's how you can get your better tension and things like that, and that's how you gain speed with your knitting. Crochet too. So now that I've finished this row, this is where I can go in and I can clean things up and pull things in. Ooh, it's break time. And I promised myself that I would enforce my break time. So we are going to take a break, and I'm going to take a bite of my food that I made for dinner, and I will be right back. And y'all get to see my beautiful BRB screen. I love this break screen so much. All right, BRB. I'm back. Alright, so I'm just put the work and change colors. Now that we've got the ad starting soon. Now that we've got the both colors on the needle, changing color is super easy. Basically, we just want to, every time we change one, we want to make sure that we start knitting with the yarn that we're changing to on the outside. So a lot of times what I'll do is I will make sure the yarn ball is on the outside. So I'll do a little swapping of the yarn. Like changing of the guard, but with yarn. So with this first stitch, we can pull the other color tight to help with tension, and then just start going. So where it's time to decrease, so I'll do knit 2 together. For the most part, I've noticed that knitting is usually some variation of knit or purl. It's just different ways of doing it. So I just did a knit there. It was slightly different, but it was still a knit stitch. Obviously, it was called slip slit knit, but in terms of what you're actually doing on, yeah, maybe I should stop that line of thinking. But it basically, it's a variation of the knit. And once you've got the knit stitch and the purl stitch down, then picking up other stuff is pretty easy. That's why I maintain the idea that it's better to start with knitting over crochet, because there's a lot more crochet stitches in my opinion. So I personally think crochet is harder than knitting, but I know other people have the opposite opinion. You know, it's all opinions. Mine is just right. No, I'm joking. Yeah, so this is crochet right here. I'm still learning crochet. But it involves a hook, and so like I mentioned with the knitting, I'm learning the single crochet here. Eventually it is going to be a hat, it's going to be a beanie, but thankfully it's still the same idea. I do. Um, that's my personal opinion. Some people think that crochet is easier. But the reason I say I think knitting is easier than crochet is because you start with two fundamental stitches and then you grow from there. Obviously with crochet you start with single crochet and double crochet, and for me personally it feels harder because there's an aspect of identifying where you put your needle into the fabric. So let's see if I can. I'll grab my hook real quick. Let's see. This one. So I personally have trouble with crochet. But you know, some people think it's easier. So basically with crochet, you have to insert the hook into the next stitch, and this is a single crochet, and like that. So but the thing about crochet is bear in mind I am talking about my own personal opinion on it. It's hard to remember for me. It's hard to spot, you know, in here sometimes where you're putting your needle. You have to, or at least I have to actively think, okay, I'm putting it here in this front loop. And then it goes like that. Eventually, you know, after you get used to it, it becomes second nature. But there's also sometimes where you might go into this back part, or you might go under, or you might go over, and it breaks my poor little brain. But I will learn. I made this with crochet, so clearly I can do it. It's just it's not something that is meditative for me yet. So I will get there. I'm gonna learn Tunisian crochet with our subscriber blanket, but yeah. So that is why I think knitting is easier, because I'll show you the difference. Let me set this aside. So with knitting, you have all of your stitches are easily identifiable on the needle. I mean, yeah, it might be cumbersome at first holding the needles and trying to figure out how to manage the needles, but there's rarely any question about your stitch and where you're going with it. So it feels, for me, it feels more manageable. Let's see. Need to make sure I don't hide my, no, I need to put my crochet hook away before I lose it, because I would be very upset with myself if I lose my fancy crochet hook. maybe one of these days I will attempt to do lace on stream. That is one of the things that I struggle with is lace knitting, because you have to pay attention to it. But I don't know, if it's a pattern that I can remember, that I can memorize, I could do it. But if I can't memorize it, then there's a chance that I'll stop paying attention or miscount or something like that and completely mess up the whole pattern, and then you have to frog it, and just, yeah. Not a happy day with lace working. I wonder what the temperature is. Okay, so I'm to switch again. So we'll take this, we'll move it over so we can ensure that this is on the outside. The step of making sure that the yarn is on the outside helps ensure a proper edge. And this is what I'll be knitting into or casting on into when I do the next square here. So it's really important to make sure that I've got consistent edges, because the future me will thank me for that. And you always want to look out for your future you. Or at least you should keep your future you in mind, so that you don't have to end up wanting to slap your past you. Because time travel isn't possible, and if it were, I probably would have been slapped a few times. So yeah, be kind to your future you. That's the downside of stream of consciousness talk. You say some weird things. Oopsie. I almost missed it. So we're doing knit two together. And when I do a knit two together, it's decreasing the number of stitches that is on the needle, and that is what's called a decrease. So for future reference. So slip, slip, knit is also a decrease, and basically the reason we do knit two together on this side and slip, slip, knit on this side is because it impacts the direction of the yarn and how it gets placed onto the needle. So, if that makes sense. So it helps create this line. And there are a lot of decreases, but this is the one or two that is used for this pattern. Actually, to be honest, I did kind of change the pattern a little bit. So the pattern that I'm going by is not exactly the pattern in the one that I bought on Etsy. I was having trouble with the decreases on the pattern, what was directly in the pattern in Etsy. So I discovered that a mitered stitch blanket or mitered square blanket can be done this style with an even number of stitches and the decrease being knit two together, slip, slip, knit, which was easier for me to remember because I can use a stitch marker here. The other one, it had two different kinds of I can't remember what the decrease was, but it was harder to remember, and it was an odd number of stitches. So that meant that the stitch marker wasn't in the center. So I was basically, when I was trying to do it, I was having to knit it on. Sorry. I knit one direction with the stitch marker, and then I removed it when I went the other direction. So it was really weird, and so that was why I made the decision to do that. But I think that illustrates another point is, there are 15 different ways to skin a cow or a cat or both. So if something isn't working for you, take a look at YouTube and see if someone else has found another technique. Chances are they have. You don't take it for granted that the way that the pattern is telling you to do it is the only way, because there's lots of ways. You might even find your own way to do it. So, you don't have to. You don't necessarily have to do it the hard way if you're struggling with it. I mean, obviously, if it's a basic thing like just the knit, then that just takes time to get used to. But even then, that takes practice. And there's there's the continental style, and then there's English style. So even there, you still have multiple ways to even the basic knit stitch. So it takes practice and deciding what is good for you. I had a second there where I thought I'd try to see if I could do continental, but yeah, that would break my brain. Sorry, y'all. There are plenty of other streamers who do continental knitting, so I recommend viewing one of them for that, at least for now. Maybe I should put for a certain tip amount, I will learn how to do continental. I don't know what the tip amount will be, but I don't know, maybe bribery would take it. But please not today. Because I am way too far behind on this blanket. Take this. Just pull it over and rinse and repeat. So, and now you can see my rows are starting to get created. I mean, it's unfortunate I got a little hole here, but it's my blanket. I'm not trying to sell it. It's okay. It's if we expect perfection from ourselves, then, you know, we never get anything done. As at least in terms of knitting. I'm just hoping that when I get further in the year, those large gaps will go away as my skill goes up with this pattern. I mentioned it earlier. This pattern is a little unforgiving, and you'd think it wouldn't be so given the fact that it's garter stitch and you just doing stripes, but I think the hardest part is just the whole knitting into the other square. That is the new skill that was new for me. So it's taken some time to pick it up. Trying. But eventually, you know, when you start glass hand, and when you get comfortable with the stitch, you'll be able to move smoothly too. It just takes practice. And what you'll want to do is just you want to aim for a wave doing it that has minimum motion. So some people, and I'm not putting these people down, but you'll see them. They'll go in with the pattern, and they'll go in with their knitting, and they will stick the knit. I have been checked. I'm a programmer, so if anyone's gonna have carpal tunnel, it's me. But I don't have carpal tunnel. But so anyway, so what I was saying is, some people, you'll see them, they will go in here, they will, you know, manually bring over the, they'll make a big production of bringing over the knit, the yarn, and they'll go over, and then they'll put it down, they'll stick the needle in, this, and that's a lot of extra motion that just slows down the process. So what you want to do is you want to have your hands in a position that is comfortable, and there are gloves that you can wear, which I was supposed to have by this frame. They're hidden somewhere in my house. Anyway, so you want to have your hands in a comfortable position, and you want to lower the you want to keep the movements natural as possible, and as fluid as possible, because if you're going to be doing this for hours at a time, you don't want to hurt yourself. So do you see what I mean there? It's not as much movement on your wrists, and it does take time to get used to, but that's going to help you in the end, not only with speed, but just with the comfort of it, of the whole process. Yeah. No, no problem. One of my goals in streaming is I want to help people who are afraid to start. You know, it's one thing to go in and you see people on YouTube and they are fantastic knitters. Oh, thank you. But it's a little intimidating. You know, seeing someone who's just like miles and skills above you, and you know, some people say, oh well, I'd never be able to do that. But the whole point is the journey. You know, this is a meditative skill. You don't have to be perfect at it. You just gotta try. And even my streaming, you know, for a while I was like, oh, you know, in my crafts, why would anyone want to be interested in my crafts? Because you know, I'm mediocre at best with my knitting. You know, we are our own worst critics, but you know, we got to start, and through the practice of doing, we get better. So yeah. And you know, eventually I'd like to be confident enough to have my own Etsy store or stuff on a website. I'm not there yet, but you know, this is my toe dipping in the waters of doing crafting for more than just hobby. So I'm jumping in, both feet. So that's why I put the investment in my graphics. I'm, you know, paying for the music. I've got a serious stream schedule, so I'm all in. So I'm gonna try. So at the end of the day, I know that I tried. But yeah, I hope that, or one of the things I hope to help everyone else with is that, you know, we can start new things. We don't have to be perfect at it. No one's going to be perfect when they start, and that's okay. It's okay. It's actually on my about screen, or on my schedule page. So got it written down. So basically, I'm streaming every day except for Wednesday. No, some of those days will be Minecraft streams. So I think Friday or Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday are currently Minecraft streams. So I'm thinking about taking one of those away. And the other days, Monday, Thursday, and Sunday are crafting streams. It probably can't show right now since I'm live. I'm thinking about doing I'm thinking about changing it to 4 days a week for crafting and 2 days for Minecraft. So one day will be fiber arts, one day will be jewelry making, And I think one day will be diamond painting and the other day will be miscellaneous. So miscellaneous right now is embroidery because I'm learning to do embroidery. Uh, I've been doing embroidery for 2 or 3 weeks now, and I love it. So, in the future, we're gonna learn how to do. We're gonna learn tatting, and we're gonna learn how to do quilting, maybe some bobbin lace. I'm really excited. Obviously, there's going to be some crochet because I've got crochet kits coming out the ears. I just love craft, so we are going to experience it together. I know I have to pace myself, but yeah, lots and lots of fun things planned. We don't want them. I appreciate you hanging out with me, Glass Hand. Yeah. I only updated it recently, but I'm pretty sure it's Monday Fiber Arts. Tuesday is currently it's Uncharted Expeditions on Minecraft. Wednesday is my ready night, so I don't stream. I'm trying to write a novel. It's slow going because I'm only writing one night a week. Thursday is let's see. Oh, Thursday's jewelry. Yep. I'm still planning it out, so right now I'm currently working on a short story. I don't think I should discuss it live. Because I'm still working out some of the details. I'd be happy to talk to you over Discord about it, but the short story I have, the basic premise, I don't mind talking about that. Is it's set in the 80s, and a girl who does pottery. She's also doing a cleaning service. Her and her company, they go to clean out this old lady's house or mansion, and she discovers a mirror, like an old mirror, and the mirror has the power to let you see into the future for up to 30 minutes based on a decision that you make. So if you decide, I want to cut my hair like a crazy person, and 30 minutes, you can see in the picture in the mirror what your hair would probably look like. And of course, bad things happen, as they do, with mucking around in the future. So I can't remember how many words I've got in it so far, but exactly. Well, I mean, without conflict, you don't have the story, right? I'm planning on using the Save the Cat series to help plan out my novel. So I've got some conflict in my novel at the moment. Excuse me. Whereas I don't really know my main character too well. Whereas I've connected a little too much with my antagonist, and my antagonist has much more of a backstory than my protagonist, and that's a problem. So I need to reacquaint myself with my protagonist and figure out her story better before I can write it. I think also probably the problem with my novel is I'm realizing I probably have enough plot for 3 books planned out, and I think I need to break it up a bit. So I enjoy writing too. I just it's also, in terms of writing stories, it's kind of new to me. So it's slow going. Have you written a lot last time? Most of my experience is in technical writing and documentation. Understood. When I was in high school and writing poetry, my mom always thought I was goth, because I would write these morbid poems. I wasn't goth, but yeah. It was always like, if I wore dark clothes, she would be afraid that I was turning goth. It's like, no, Mom, I am not goth. I Yeah, maybe I was too. I was a band geek, so I just kind of filled my own slot. Hey, Black Sheep, Sheepy, I love your streams. So, back to what I was saying earlier, Sheepy, Black Sheep, is a great person to watch if you want to learn how to do continental knitting. I'm English, but if you look at her streams, you can see a very wonderful example of continental. That way I don't have to learn it. I can do a shout out. Let's see. If I can find my keyboard. Hopefully this works. Ooh, nice. Nope. That did me. Okay, sorry. I'm a noob. There. Ooh. Hey, Sheepy, check this out. I want to see something pretty. Check out my break screen. Isn't it gorgeous? I just got it yesterday from my friend Moni. She's doing all my graphics. But I'm so excited. Anyway, obviously I'm not going on a break, but yeah, they're pretty. Oh, it's time to flip. Yeah, we love money. So we're just about getting to the decrease here. One more, and then we'll do the decrease. I think one of the other things that problems I've had with this pattern is just simply not paying attention to where my decreases are. Oh, no fun. Alrighty. When I finish this this row sheep or sheepy, I will show you this whole blanket. This is my temperature blanket. I started it in January and I'm way behind. Let's just say I'm working on like March 9th, and obviously we're in July. This is a mitered square stitch, or mitered square blanket. And I love it. It's just, it takes me so long to do one square. And so we'll put that down for a second. So this is the mitered square blanket, and I decided to go with forest colors for my palette. So I didn't want rainbow because, you know, everyone does a rainbow, and I of course had to do something unique because I'm me. So here's the color palette for this blanket. So we're doing blues and greens and browns and blacks, and got these colors on the end because, you know, you do see birds in the forest. You know, for the browns and the black, you have dirt in the forest, and you know there might be a lake in the forest, which is why we have the blues. So and the sky, you know, all of the things that you would see in a forest is how I picked this color palette. So yeah. So there's a lot of colors in this selection, but I don't regret it because today's temperature would probably be in one of these three. I feel like it'd probably be this because today has been super, super hot. So the if you do exclamation point project, that'll take you to the Etsy link and the person who I got this pattern from. But if you don't want to buy a Etsy pattern for this, you could also just look up mitered square there's a lot of different miter square project, but the Etsy link gives you all of the tools for figuring out how to lay out the squares for the year. So they have a non-leap year and a leap year project, and they also have the cute little year corner in the corner of, you'll see in the picture on the right. Anywho, so that's that. So it just takes me so long to do squares. It's not even funny. Oh, I got something you'll be happy about, Sheepy. I haven't showed this to hardly anyone. Actually, I want to say you inspired me to get this. You and the Traveling Tatter. Uh-oh. Oops. Sorry, I have no caps stuff on mine. But I'm gonna learn tatting. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I don't know if this kit is any good. Oops. But it's got little tiny crochet hooks, and I don't know when I'm gonna actually start using it. I found this kit on Amazon, so I don't know if these settles are any good. In theory they are, maybe, I don't know. I think it's enough to get me started. And I figure I can always add on to it. It's got little hands. Anywho, so yeah, my other half, my husband, can blame you for me wanting to start tatting because I saw you doing it and it's like, I have to do that. So for a little bit, I was watching your stream when you were doing tatting. I was like, okay, let me figure out how she's doing this. I was kind of mesmerized. And you also inspired me to actually play my Baldur's Gate. I bought it a while back, but I was busy with Minecraft and stuff. So I had already owned it, I just hadn't played it yet, because, you know, Minecraft and work and blah de blah, and you know the bit. So oh, I've been so tempted to pull a tarot card for you, by the way, Sheepy. I've been so tempted to just send you a picture of one. I've got these cards. Let me get the stitch marker up. Over. They're not really tarot. They're something else. It's more like an oracle. Actually, I don't think it's even an oracle deck, but it's so cute. I got this on Kickstarter. Yeah, you're here. I'm gonna stop knitting and just start showing you all my uh all my cards. This is the Witch Cat Oracle deck. So it came with a claw. It's super cute. But these cards are better for like one a day. And the art in it is absolutely gorgeous. I love it so much. It's got a saying on the inside. It says, "You are an infinite cosmic creator. Remember your power." But all of the cards are just really pretty cats. And I get too much stuff on Kickstarter. It's probably easier to see like this. I'm really tempted to do a tarot redemption on my stream too. But I'm not very good at doing readings yet. I mostly draw cards for myself. But anywho, I've been tempted, really, I've been called to draw one of these cards for you. It's just every time I see you online, I think of this deck and I think about how much you probably love it. And of course, every time I try to think about it, I can't find the deck, so I couldn't do it then. But now it's kind of kismet. I'm online and you're here, and I actually know where the deck is. So, kismet, serendipity. Okay, I gotta close my eyes when I do this because I think either side is telling. This doesn't have a back. So we will do this one. So this kitty is soft and cozy. This is Ginger Gold. Meet Ginger Gold. She is the queen of warm tea cups held close, candles flickering and soft snuggles. She creates an abode of coziness. Come cuddle with this fluffy mew. Let all your worries melt away. Be gentle with yourself. Nourish your body with tasty food and rest. Luxuriate in slow stretches in a quiet moment, gazing out your window. No need to rush. You are exactly where you need to be. Just enough to allow yourself to slow down, unwind, and create a lush, nurturing experience. Wrap yourself in a blanket of love and bask in the stillness. So that is your card. Yeah, I feel like it probably was because I'm just thinking back to your stream and what you said. A lot of times these cards seem to be really spot on. So these are a great to pull for once a day. Excuse me. So yeah, this is the Witchy Cat Oracle. Sorry, Witch Cats, the Oracle deck. You're welcome. And because I'm a glutton for punishment and this other deck is so awesome and I have to show it to anyone who loves tarot, I have to show it to you. I won't do a reading because I'm not advanced enough right now to read with this deck, and you'll see why in a sec. Come on, hold correctly. I have the Alleyman's Tarot. I don't know if you've seen it. So if you have seen the Alleyman's Tarot, let me know. I love this deck so much. This is my favorite deck that I have. This deck was built on the idea of the traveling alleyman who does his own thing. The bag came in a jeweler's bag. This was also a Kickstarter. And they've got the box in a fake matchbook or matchbox with a fake striker and everything. And so it's very yeah, anywho. So it came with a challenge coins and a poker chip. But the thing that's special about this deck is that every single card of it is from a different deck. There is not a single card in this deck that repeats. So, all of the backs are different. And it is a, darn it, it's falling. It is a massive deck. And yeah, every single one of these cards came from a different tarot deck. There's the backs are different, the sides are different, so some are gilded and some are not. And there's even multiples. There's like multiple death cards in here. There's different styles. It's all over the place. It's basically like a hand-brewed deck. And it just they made an oracle deck along the same reasoning recently. But trying to do a reading with this deck at the moment for me is a little overwhelming because they have a big book with it, and it's sometimes hard to identify what card you're looking at. So it's like that one right there. Finding that deck or this card inside of the guide is hard. And that one, it's just I'm not to the point where I can read from this deck with any proficiency. But I love it very much. There's a rubber ducky. Apparently there's a rubber ducky tarot deck out there somewhere. Anywho. But yeah, this is the Alleyman's tarot deck. It is one of my more favorite things in the world, and they sent blanks so I can make my own. So this company, oh, there it is, Goblin Publishing. So far it seems like the decks that they make are spot on. getting it back in is always a trick. I mean, I can't even shuffle it. It's like a big deck. I got an ad starting soon. Yeah. Anywho, I'm pretty sure this is still available on their site. It came with booster packs and everything. And they give full credit to all of the tarot decks that went into it. Alright, trying to find something. I could have sworn that I had the book on hand, but apparently I've hidden it for myself for the moment. They even have like a podcast too. That's how crazy obsessed I am with this. So actually I haven't read any of these, but it's interesting. I really should take a moment to read this. I've read so many books this year and I haven't read this. Shame. Alright, anywho, back to the knitting. I'll put these away later. Ooh, ad in progress. Nothing like stopping mid-row to talk about tarot. You can tell that earlier in the year, I did a lot with this color. Oh, it's time to hydrate. Everyone drink some water. Or water-like substance. Have you ever tried bobbin lace, sheepy? Just curious. My mother-in-law, she used to do bobbin lace, and it looks really interesting, and I do think I want to learn how. I almost forgot to decrease. That's what I get for not paying attention. I don't know if it's in depth per se, because what you do with adding still seems really complicated. I think maybe it's just a different way to get there. I had to actually Google the word tatting is I wanted to make sure there was some historical significance behind the word. That's me and my nerd brain. It looks like there's a lot more investment involved with bobbin lace than with catting. Of course, before I try bobbin lace, I'm gonna be trying to do spinning. I saw a YouTube video about a month or two ago of someone making their own yarn bats, and they were dragging the fibers across this board and then turning it, and I was mesmerized, and I was like, I have to know how to do that. I mean, could you just imagine starting with your own fibers and then making a fiber, I'm probably getting the terms wrong right now, but making your own bats and then turning it into yarn and making something out of that. It just, yeah, it's very satisfying to watch, and I imagine it would be very satisfying to do. I don't know about art bats. Those seem like a little too chunky for me, and I'd rather have something with a little less craziness in it. But it looks like so much fun. Do you think I should offer a certain amount for tipping or whatever to get me to learn Continental? I don't know what it would take for me to do it, but I feel like there should be an incentive for something to make me learn Continental. I was really tempted to put in a channel point redemption to make me wear those little finger puppet things while trying to knit. That would be really hard. They like it if you do a certain number of bits, then I have to wear finger puppets on my hand. That would be awful. Yeah, people love chaos. And I feel like that's the kind of chaos that I can do in this format and not hate myself later. Darn it. Let's try that again. Sometimes slip knit is so annoying. Sorry, there's only so long that I can do stream of thought talking. I think I'm making good progress, so I should probably check my numbers here. Make sure I'm not messed up. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. So there should be 12 on each side. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I decreased, so that's okay. 2, 4, 6, 8. Uh-oh. Darn it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What did I do? Counting stitches is what I have trouble with. Darn it. Okay, clearly I did a decrease there. And I did one there. I don't know how far back I have to go. And this is why this pattern takes me so long per square. Uh-oh. That was close. I will say it is easier to frog with a with crochet. I'm sure there's easier way, or I could probably just pull it out, but I don't know how far back I have to go. Crazy thing is, I was just earlier, at one point, I know fairly recently, talking about how important it is to pay attention. Clearly, I missed a decrease somewhere. That is really, really annoying. Either that or I did an extra decrease. Which is also a possibility. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. The question is, how far back do we have to go? Grumble, grumble, grumble. So basically, I'm just gonna go back until the stitches are even on both sides, which hopefully isn't too far. It's annoying, but you know, I can't. I've already learned the hard way that I can't progress with the wrong number of stitches. I don't know of a way to fix it without undoing it, unfortunately. So, yeah. It is what it is. You know, such is life. We move on. The sooner I fix it, the sooner I can finish it. Or redo it and finish it. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So whatever happened, it was on this side. And I'm honestly not skilled enough to identify where the mistake happened. Because these stitches look pretty uniform to me. Anyhow, well, let's continue on. Where'd it go? There it is. It was gonna happen eventually. If not this stream, maybe the next. So, yeah. I'm sure there's probably an easier way to do this. Actually, I'll update my to-do list. Learn how to frog and knitting. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so we do have our decrease here. That's good. Onward. And we have our decrease here. So somewhere I did either one extra decrease or I skipped one. I should probably be able to find the discrepancy by looking down the center, if I think about it. So something will be either wrong on one side or wrong on the other down the center. I personally have trouble telling the difference. I've tried to spot it in the past. I can try again. So let's check again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so let's consider this. So I think every time, maybe zoom in. Yeah. Okay, so every time there's a decrease. So here's the center right here. So the decreases are going to be going into the next color. So there should be this kind of look at the top of every one, of every color. So we have a decrease there. We have one there. Actually, 1, 2, 4, 6. Well, because the next question is, which one of these is actually correct? 2, 4, 8, 10, 12, 14. So we started with 20 stitches on each side. So 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 12. Four, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So let's see. At this point, we would have reduced it down to 18 stitches on each side. Then 16 stitches, 14 stitches. Darn it. 20 stitches. 18, 16, 14, 12, 10. I think I'm mathing myself into a problem. 20, 18, 16, 14, 12. Now I'm just confusing myself. I wonder if, are we near break time? 20, 19, 15, 16. Oh, okay. I know the problem. I'm going down by 2. It's 2 across the whole way. Okay, now I know the problem. This would have been 20. Obviously we did a decrease here. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. I don't get this. 20, 19, 18, 17. I really don't want to take apart this whole thing. 12. And I think that is like that because of the weaving in the ends. Well, okay, might as well continue breaking it down. Darn it. Or it might be time to switch to crochet and undo this off stream. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. So this level, this row, there should not be any, I should not find any decreases. I keep seeing decreases where there are none. I should probably switch to the regular view. Sorry. Ad starting soon. Since I didn't find any missing things, I'm just going to continue frogging. And of course, naturally, my brain remembers the term for frogging when I have to do it. Or is it frogging for knitting, or is it only frogging for crochet? Because that's also a question. So, and this row, I should definitely have found a decrease on either side because it was a color change. Okay, so here is the decrease, so that is properly there. Hit by a decrease. Move this over. And here is the other decrease, so the mistake did not happen on this row. So mental note, count more often. I'm really glad that I counted when I did, because if we got into the end and the numbers were off, I'd like to say that it'd still be family friendly, but it would have been really frustrating. I don't personally have anything against swearing, but I think it should be used like spice or salt, sparingly. So, is it with too much of it, you just lose the impact. There's a time and place for it. Darn it. Apparently I did something weird with this stitch. There, okay, that's better. If push comes to shove, carefully pull. So, excuse me, this is a row that should not have any decreases. So if I find one here, then we found the problem. No decrease there. And we are clear there. Earlier, I was talking about times where you want to go back in time and slap yourself. This is one of those times. Like, pay attention. Thankfully, these are only done one square at a time, so you can never mess up so badly that you have to start over from scratch. You only ever have to say maybe start over a single square, which I have done. It's not fun, but it's certainly better than those times where you just have to start a blanket all over, or the projects itself from scratch. That's not fun at all. Okay, so this row should have a decrease. Looks like I messed up my stitch there, but it's okay. We have a chance to redo it. There's a silver lining. Did I miss my break? I can't tell. I should probably make a sound effect or something when it's break time. Okay, so here is this one, which is good. And here is this decrease. Wow, we are having to go back pretty far. That's super frustrating. Oh well. It would be great if y'all brought up a topic so we can talk about something other than the fact that I miscounted somewhere. Anything? Marco, Polo? Marco. Okay, let's count again. I'm pretty sure I have not come across a missing or extra decrease yet, but let's check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yeah. Okay. Time to hydrate with maybe a bottle of water that is already open. I have pink lemonade. Let's see, did break time happen? I think I have it set for every 45 minutes or so. So considering that we're at 2.5 hours, I should have had a second break by now. Or maybe it was the first break that I missed. I don't see Janami typing in. Okay, well, onwards. This is a weird song. We're skipping it. Okay, it's not weird. It's just not the right vibe. At this point, it's really tempting to just rip it all out. I have to wonder what would take more time. It's like I don't want to pull it all out without the I don't want to pull out the needles because it's really hard. It's really easy to drop a stitch that way, just like I did just then on there. And that would just be compounding the problem. And then I end up starting over anyway for this square. Zoom out again. Sorry. Oh, no, I am at the regular zoom. So this is the row that I shouldn't find a decrease. So we didn't find a decrease there. And this side is the one that has more than the other. So did not find a decrease there. So the hunt continues. I can figure out where it happened, then I would know where to go down to. But it's really hard to spot. Ooh. Heck in there. We didn't find any added decreases, so gotta continue. So this is the row that where we should find a decrease. So what we're looking for is a spot in the middle where I forgot to decrease. Okay, so we have a decrease right here, so that's good. Or is it really? I want to find the one where I messed up, so. All right, isn't this a cute stitch marker? I really like it. Okay, so and here is another decrease. Oh. Yeah. The hunt continues. It's probably like in one of the, I don't know, the first couple of rows I was pretty on point, I think, about commenting on when I was doing the decreases and whatnot. I feel like the mistake probably would have been in these next few rows when I was paying less attention. Sorry. Okay, if we don't find it in this row, we're switching projects to something fun. Okay, not that this isn't fun, but I can frog this offline or so that's 2. That's 2. Yeah, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. Let me clean up this yarn, and I will figure this out later. This is not really all that good content, I think, to watch someone frog their work to who knows when. So I think just for my sanity, I think we're just gonna set it aside. And that's okay. Sometimes you gotta set it aside. Sometimes you gotta protect your mental health. So that's what we're gonna do. And I'll just figure it out later. No, something else. Hi, Windering, or hi, Rena. So the problem is I miscounted somewhere. So, this should have an even number of stitches. And they do not. So I've been unstitching, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Well, I must have corrected one. So before there was 2 too many, unless I can't count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Yeah, still down by 2 stitches. So at some point in this, at some point while we've been stitching tonight, I missed a decrease or I added an extra one. But it's kind of hard to tell where it happened. And at this point, I suspect that I'm just gonna have to undo the whole thing and start it over, because I really don't know where. But that's okay. It happens, you know. Spilled milk and all. So let me stab my poor cat, and we will do something else. So I'll just set this aside, get in a position where the stitches aren't going to come off the needles. Not that it matters, because I'm probably going to have to redo it anyway. So we'll just scooch this over and do something else. We are still going to knit, because that is what we've got tagged. Instead, we're gonna pull out this fun yarn that I have. It's called, it's a sachet yarn. And apparently there's some stickiness going on. So this yarn lately has actually been really hard to find. So I've been snapping it up a lot when I can find it. It is a fun yarn and fun scarf to make. So now the question is, what color combo? No, actually, that's not even a question. We're gonna do these colors. Because I don't know. I mean, this colors could be interesting, but it's not really speaking to me. So, wine and black and gray and white. So that's what we're gonna do. And the needle size does not really matter with this project. But generally a large needle is good. So I'm gonna use this one right here. Size 11. It doesn't matter though. A small needle will work too. I just want an excuse to use these. It has been a little bit since I've done one of these. So, let's see. Yeah, I love them. Now the interesting part is starting one of these. I have to remind myself on how to cast these on. It's a weird cast on. Yeah. Gauge is not important for this project. Let's see. So what's cool about, let me find the end before I start talking. What's cool about this yarn is it's actually a kind of lace. I'm gonna lower the light a little bit. I think that might. So it's actually lace, and what you're knitting into is the edge of the lace right here. It makes for a nice fluffy scarf. But I like to do this with 2 colors because I'm me. So we'll get that ready, and then yeah, so this is called Cabernet, and this one is called Panda. And this one is also super pretty. They both have sequins, I think. Yeah, so this has got red sequins on the end. Really cute. So what we want to do, and what I'm going to do, is we're actually going to knit them together. We have an ad starting soon. So I need to find, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're starting here, and I've got to find the same one on this edge. It'll make sense in a moment, I promise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Darn it. Counting. Live. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, stop that. There's only one person in this house allowed to mess me up like that, and that's the non-entity. Okay, so basically, what I have now is so we started on the edge to give us some room to work with to be able to for our edge. And bear with me, I am doing this by memory. So what we're trying to do is we basically put every other stitch onto the needle. This is how we're casting on. So every other hole is between, it's not the little ones here, but it's the big ones. So, and naturally I make it harder with the 2, as one does. So it's easier to just do it one at a time. So this one, hey Moni, this one. Everyone loves the BRB screen. Oh, Windering. Let me show you this wonderful BRB screen. I'm not gonna go BRB, even though I do need to eat some more of my food, but look at this. It's beautiful. Isn't this gorgeous? I love it so much. So, exclamation point Moni. And you get Moni's info on how to hire her. It is so awesome. I'm gonna switch back. Did you see my message about offline screen? I'm so glad. Thank you. Okay, so let's see how many stitches. We've only got 3 stitches, so what we're aiming for is at least 6. I don't know. I might be the only one who does this with 2 colors. I've only ever seen people do this with 1 color. So right now we're just casting on. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's probably good enough. And now the real question is whether or not I actually remember this enough to do it. I'm pretty sure I do. So when we're doing this knitting, what we're basically utilizing these squares. So we're going to knit into the next square. So because I'm using 2, what I do is I line up the next stitch, and so we're knitting into that row. So we put our finger in, or our Yeah, so the needle into the stitch, and then knit, and then hopefully I haven't messed this up, and then rinse and repeat. I haven't given myself a refresher on this, so it would not be surprising if I mess this up, but I can usually get one of these done in about 8 hours or so with the 2 colors. It takes with 1 color it doesn't take as much effort. But because of the having to line up the yarn, that's why it takes longer with the 2 colors. I messed it up. Darn it. This doesn't seem to be my night for knitting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, we all have our off nights, so it's not a big deal. You know, I'm just gonna have to look up the tutorial. Ooh, it's break time. I think I did the cast on wrong. Oh, she's doing crochet. That's not what we're doing. She has a different kind. I haven't seen that one. I think it's gonna be the same concept though. I just gotta see where I messed up. So it looks like she's casting it on the same way. Let's see. I think getting started is the hard part of this. Once you've got the stitches established, then it's easy. It's just that very first row that's a little weird. Okay. I think well, I think I see where I messed up. Probably just not being fierce enough in it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try this again. If it's a wide scarf, it's sorry, I'm having to concentrate. At least for this part. The first row, I think, takes a lot more concentration. Once I get going, y'all will see what this scarf will look like. It's really cute. These are the kind of scarves that you wear for girls' night out. Maybe I should update my title. Girls' Night Out scarf. Don't mess up. It's really, well, okay. I prefer to try to keep them in line. It makes the yarn easier to manage. Oh, thank you. I need to get them redone. I chipped a couple days ago. Anyone who's a Kimmy fan should do an exclamation point Kimmy right now. Only 30 times? I need to fix that problem. Hey Kimmy, Monty has her own X command now too. Okay, so I know the project currently is the temperature blanket, so I don't have a pattern for this scarf. Honestly, this yarn is really hard to get lately, so I'm not sure if it would benefit anyone uh, for me to share a pattern on this. Basically, all you have to do is look up sachet scarf or ruffle scarf, and then you'd find the pattern for this. It's basically a really simple, okay, not simple. It's a basic knit stitch that just is a little weird. Yeah, it's just going back and forth. It's just a little awkward with the whole cast on and how you're knitting into a certain. Did I mess that up? Spot. Careful. Yeah, I did almost mess that up. It's okay. That's why we pay attention. So I have been considering adjusting my Minecraft streaming schedule and lowering it to 2 days a week instead of 3. So just to give y'all a heads up, I'm thinking about turning one of those days into a diamond painting day. Okay, so we have the first row. So basically these scarves are ruffles all the way down. They are super cute. So now that we have our stitches established, it's a lot easier. So basically now it's just a matter of you know, like you said, Rena, going back and forth, just paying attention to the gaps. The only thing that's different between this one and the usual ruffle skirts is the fact that I'm using 2 colors, because I'm crazy. But I think it makes for a prettier scarf, personally. And when I finish this, I'll have to figure out who gets it. I think at the end of this row, I should go ahead and take the break because I haven't finished my dinner. And I promised myself that we would absolutely show off our beautiful BRB screen by taking our breaks in a timely manner. I think this is gonna make a really pretty scarf. It takes a long time to do, but it is worth it. Hi, Gatarika. How are you doing today? I'm pretty sure no one has claimed the second in my channel point redemption, just to throw that out there. I also still have the channel point redemption for Contexto and Connexo. And we also have a new channel point redemption for doing the spirograph coloring page for 2 minutes. I'm sure that if I prepped this yarn at all, it wouldn't take as long, but this was kind of on the fly. So and once I get into rhythm, it'll be better. But yeah. Another command I added is recently was also the Crafty Collective command. So you can do exclamation point Crafty Collective or exclamation point Crafty or exclamation point Collective, and that'll give you all the deets, or at least some of the deets, on the Crafty Collective. It's a group I joined recently when I started this streaming journey, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So here's the next row. Currently I'm twisting my work. That'll probably stop as I get further along, but you can see how it's basically just gonna add layer upon layer of lace ruffle. I don't have a finished one handy that I can show you, but as we go, I think y'all will get the idea. So I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break so I can finish my dinner. It's 11 o'clock. I should have finished it by now. So I will be right back. I'll let you see my beauteous BRB screen. It was made by our dear friend Moni. Isn't it gorgeous? Anywho, I'm gonna finish my food. I'll be right back, and I'll see you then. And I'm back. Thank you, everyone, for waiting. Appreciate you. And it looks like my head's gonna start too. Just in time, right? Thank you. And I managed to finish dinner. We had baked chicken night. So, thank you. Tomorrow's stream is going to be Minecraft. We are doing, I'm doing Uncharted Expeditions with the non-entity. I don't know specifically what we have planned, but I do know that he's managed to make some milkshake machines. See if I can figure out a good way to get into a rhythm with these. It's hard because every stitch you need to line up the proper square. But this is one of the things where it's worth it to take your time. I'm still learning to keep my hand under the under the camera. Yeah, no kidding. Sometimes I choose to go a little bit, so we should technically be using this one, but for purposes of lining up properly, I'll skip it. This isn't, you know, an exact art scarf, so it's a very forgiving scarf. You just gotta be patient with it. There is plenty of room for there's room for mistake, and it doesn't have to be perfect because all of the stitch work is going to be covered in ruffle. The main thing is, you know, just gotta be consistent with the stitches. And I suspect that you can probably do this with almost any kind of lace. Like we saw in the video, she didn't necessarily have this yarn that was made for this. That person actually had lace. So, you know, this technique could probably be used in a lot of different places. I mean, sure, would it be easier to crochet? Actually, no. I think crocheting this would be awful. Some people might think it'd be easier to crochet this, but yeah. I would lose the stitches. I can't speak for anyone else, but I would lose the stitches because there's so much there. So this yarn right here has really nice gradient with it. That's gonna look really nice with the champagne color. or Cabernet, sorry. Um, Now the question is, who gets it when it's done? Maybe I should start like collecting finished works, and maybe every quarter or so we do a charity auction or something, depending upon or depending upon how many finished items we have, would be to determine the frequency of a charity auction. What do y'all think? I have not. Um, but I'd like to think between now and then that I could probably do the research in order to find it out. Um, there are members of the Crafty Collective who have done a charity auction, so I do have contact with people who have done them before. So it's just a matter of research. We're just talking to those people. There was, I don't think the Crafty Collective did it. I think it was, oh gosh, what was this other crafting group called? Momo something. It's off the tip of my head. I can't remember the name of the group. Anywho, there was a recent one for St. Jude. I mean, I am going to do charity efforts on this stream. But you know, I'm talking like at least 3 to 6 months from now. So I'm not too worried about preparations, because you know, we don't have anything to auction off yet. I have no doubt that I'll be able to find the information and figure out the details of doing an auction. I know there's websites that can be used to run it. So it's just a matter of doing the planning, which I know that I can do. I think that the main thing that I would be worried about more is just ensuring the legal and all that kind of fun stuff for ensuring that the charity I choose, you know, gets all of their funds, and that all of the I's and T's are crossed and dotted and whatnot. But if I choose a reputable site and a reputable charity, I imagine that would go through pretty smoothly too. My thought is, one of the things I do plan on doing is hats for babies and cancer patients, and we're also going to do soap sacks. It's either going to be a channel point redemption for the soaps or for those things, or it's going to be a bits. I still need to research patterns, but that's still in the future. I want to get further along in my temperature blanket before I start too many new projects, because I'm pretty much I'm really far behind on my temperature blanket. And there's going to be a subscriber blanket too, which will function like a temperature blanket. No, that one I'm going to keep. That the part of the reason I'm doing the temperature blanket on stream is because you know, I'm still ramping up the crafting, and I'm still working out the workflow, and just we're still tweaking things. So it seems like a good project to work out the kinks of everything initially. But I do have another blanket planned for stream. I've got all the materials. I've got the pattern picked. It's a beautiful blanket. But I don't think I should start it until I've caught up a little bit on my temperature blanket. You know, most crafters have a problem with too many ongoing projects at the same time, and I am among them. Or I am no exception to that. Thankfully, and the reason I was okay with starting with this is because it's a scarf, and it still would only take me about 8 hours to do. So it's not a big deal. I say 8 hours because I've made a lot of these, and that's it. Generally, it takes me about a solid day of concentrated efforts to make one of these scarves. You know, like 2 or 3 movies. Less if I'm only doing one color. I just got super annoyed with the mistake on the temperature blanket and had to set it down. So, you know, sometimes you just have to set things aside, lest I turn into a non-family friendly viewer or streamer. And I don't want that. So, just so y'all know, I am planning to stream till 11:30 Eastern. So that is about 15 minutes from now. Okay, 10 minutes. I'm gonna try to keep a schedule of 7:30 to 11:30 Eastern. On the weekends it's going to move around a little bit because I want to give myself the opportunity for other obligations, but we only just started this grinder. Hi, grinder. And all things considered, I've gotten pretty far on this scarf. I should send this to Grinder, this scarf. You look so beautiful in it. Or maybe I'll ship it to Kimmy. Don't tell her. I know she's not listening, so I can get away with telling. But this is like a girls' night out scarf, so, you know. Oh, I don't know if y'all know, but there is another command you can do in my channel. It is exclamation point dad joke. I didn't put this command in there. My moderator put it in there. So I suppose pretty soon we're gonna need to figure out who to raid out to. Oh wow, that's a long time. Maybe I just need to make a beanie for you. I don't know why it keeps spinning like that. But yeah, so this is what the scarf will end up looking like. It just longer. Who, me or Grinder? There's probably debate as to whether or not it gets cold here. I think it gets cold, but I'm allergic to cold, so. Let's see. So I have time for one more row. That's true. But, you know, scarves like this are light. Scarves don't have to be warm. They could be just for fashion. I mean, this scarf is certainly not something you would wear to stay warm. This is more like a feather boa. When it's done. Yeah. And that's pretty much the case here too in Georgia. I went to a Foo Fighters concert once. It was Everlong. I don't think that was a very good dad joke. You might have to do that again. It comes from a website. Maybe. I suppose you have to know more about Foo Fighters for it to make sense. Did you know the trees poo? Where do you think the number 2 in the pencils come from? Did I say that badly? Did you know trees poo? Where do you think the number 2 pencils come from? I think that one kind of fell flat, Grinder. I got one. If you suck at playing harmonica, you're halfway there. I got that one from Entity. I probably said it wrong. He sends me a lot of dad jokes, and I save them so I can disturb Kimmy with them. So every single dad joke I've sent to Kimmy came from Entity. So I do have to give credit where it's due. Anywho, so it is just about time, but so my next stream, as I was saying earlier, is tomorrow 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And I am now streaming 6 nights a week, or 6 days a week. It's going to be 2 nights to Minecraft and 4 nights for crafting, because ultimately my channel is a crafting channel, so that's what our focus is going to be on. So and we're crafting on Minecraft too, so that is how that ties in. So I believe Minecraft and building in Minecraft is a craft, hence the name Minecraft. And what people do in there sometimes when they're not just focused on the gameplay is art. So I am a crafter of square things, and Minecraft has square blocks. So that's that. I'm finishing up this finishing up this row, and then we'll find someone to raid to. I wish I could raid to Kimmy, but we are currently in the crafters and makers category at the moment, so I'm going to raid to a crafter. There is a raid train event going on, so I'm going to raid into that if I can find out who the current person is. Next time the raid train happens, I'm gonna try and be a part of it. So let me switch over to my ending screen. This is gonna be updated soon, but we don't have it quite yet. So let me see who the raid train is with, and we are going to go to them if I can find them. Suppose I could just look up the raid train. Actually, you know, I'll just I'm going to raid to the sarcastic kitten. She is a crocheter, and to watch her crochet, it's like she is a crocheting machine. It's crazy how fast she whips these things out. It's inspiring. Anywho, so let me do raid the sarcastic kitten, and we'll get that started. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you very much. I hope to see you next time. And yeah, so I'm glad to I'm glad to go on this journey with you all. So we're gonna raid sarcastic kitten, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Besides getting a parrot that can say its own name, That'll be the closest I can get to having a Pokemon, is to get a real Growlithe and groom it